Yeah.
Hi, Ali.
Hey, how are you doing?
Okay, very well. Thanks, you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been
Great.
absolutely amazing here at the book fair in Sofia. So having a great time, and also a pleasure to meet you as well.
Pleasure to meet you too. And thank you very much for helping me understand my own main character, Ayla, from my novel Nectar. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you something about her. All right. Why is she always putting herself into dangerous situations with men?
Look, it's an interesting question. There could be so many reasons. I think one very common reason why sometimes people put themselves into situations that are not good for them has to do with the fact that they've been brought up already in a very chaotic and volatile environment, and they've become so used to being around chaotic behaviors that are not good for them, the red flags behaviors, as I like to refer to them, and they've started to normalize that. Their brain has started to normalize that, and so it's kind of crazy to think, right? What feels familiar? It's familiar is kind of, oh, that feels safe. Something that isn't safe can actually make you feel, I know this behavior, so I don't know it in any other way. So that could be one main reason why sometimes, and not just only your character, but I think us in general, why we tend to have partners or to be with people that are not good for us. I think that's one thing. Another important thing could be self-esteem issues. So, sometimes we just don't feel good about ourselves. And then once we get attention, sometimes we get the wrong attention, or we associate, toxic behaviors with safety. I make this joke online where I say the good guy is going to sacrifice you for the world, but the bad guy is going to sacrifice the world for you.
That's a nice one.
So it's one of the reasons potentially, and there's many more, why people put themselves into situations that are often not good for themselves.
And one something else that I'm really trying to explain to myself even is why when she's being called a liar and promiscuous, that kind of like makes her to be even more promiscuous and even a bigger liar. What's the logic? How could it be
Well, I mean,
possible?
first of all, we need to understand where I always say where there's smoke, there's fire. So there must be a reason why that's happening to her. Now, again, maybe she is, maybe she doesn't feel comfortable with herself, and with the person who she is. So she tries to portray herself to be someone else purely out of protection. Think of it that way. So I'm trying to give kind of a positive twist to this. But look, we walk through society with a mask on. We all do. I do. You do. And society teaches us that we have to be shameful of who we truly are. And so sometimes we put on a mask, and that mask can be sometimes surreal. Some people really would go the extremes, and maybe that's a reason why she's being perceived that way, or she does things that she doesn't realize that she's doing that's not right or incorrect, and that could also be another reason why people then kind of make her feel that way. Now, the other question, so I'll just kind of go back into what's really happening with her. I don't know the character that well. When you are sometimes blamed for things, then you kind of feel like, what, if you really are going to blame me for that, then I'm actually going to show you that I can be like that. And it's not that they just don't want to be like that. It's just like, I've tried everything to be different and you don't see that. Okay, if it's called the self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think I'm going to do that, then that might happen, that will happen. So again, multiple reasons. Human nature is very complex. But that could be, again, I need to read a little bit deeper about her character to have a better understanding of her rich personality. But that would be some easy answers that I would give to that question.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, like she's so self-destructive, even though there isn't like an obvious trauma. She comes from a family that's wealthy, and they're very ignorant, but they love her.
Yeah.
And but she's extremely self-destructive. What's the explanation?
Again, multiple reasons why somebody could be self-destructive. I mean, it could be a personality disorder.
Yes.
Could be, and sometimes people develop that. Some personality disorders, I always said, a lot of personality disorders have a psychological or a genetic basis. So it could be something that could be passed down, even though she had a good environment and she was well brought up. I mean, that could come out in certain individuals. Maybe she had some bad experiences in her lives that that happen repetitively over time.
Mhm.
You know, anger, and let's bring this back to the core of anger, right? There are multiple, or destruction, there are multiple reasons. When we think of anger, people say, I'm angry, but I always like to ask the question, but where is the anger coming from? Is it are you feeling, are you upset? Do you feel injustice? Do you feel out of control? So better understanding the source of the anger and the destruction, I think, is a core thing to better understand why she's like that. And again, sometimes anger can also be a way to kind of, or destructiveness can also be a way of self-protection. It's not the best way. Of course, we have more advanced coping mechanisms to deal with anger, right? But it could be a way that some people deal with that and being very
Yeah.
destructive. And again, I don't know, is she abusive?
She's not. She's self-abusive a
She's
little bit,
self-abusive.
but
Yeah,
she's
yes,
not
yeah.
abusive.
So I would always come to say that it has to do with self-worth,
Yeah.
her own self-worth issues, and her inabilities of knowing how to deal
Hmm.
with anger and anger in a more constructive way. So,
Thank you so much. And this has been like a free lesson of
hey,
psychology for me, since the main character is a little bit based on my own personality. So you helped me understand even myself a little bit better.
always asking for a friend, right?
Always
Yeah,
asking for a friend. I wrote a lot of red flags for Ayla,
yeah.
but she manages to pull herself out from the bog.
Hopefully, this book can help her. Maybe.
Yes, I believe so. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Thank you. That was good. That was fun.